Alright, so today we're checking out the Vanpowers UrbanGlide Pro. It's a step-through e-bike and comes with a 48 volt 14.4 amp hour battery. And you can see here it's kind of stealth. It's built into the frame, and you can take it out to charge if you want. Some larger tires in this one, 27.5 inches by 2.2 inches, so they're not, fat tires like a lot of e-bikes, but this is more like a road tire. So this is more for cycling, bike paths, street sidewalks, not really for off-roading, but it does come with a front fork suspension, so it can smooth out some of those bumps. There is no suspension in the rear, but you do have a nice metal rear rack here in the back, obviously for stowing cargo and stuff. You can put a bag back there, basket, etc. This bike is rated up to 330 pounds for carrying capacity. You have a 48 volt 500 watt hub motor here in the back, and we have a 8-speed derailleur here in the back here. It's from a different company. It's not Shimano, it's something called Micro Shift. So we'll have to test that out in the ride and see how this derailleur performs. So here's take a look at the seat here. It's fairly comfortable. It's firm, but it has some cushion, and the seat height is adjustable as well. Also in the back here you have a brake light, of course, that lights up when you apply the brakes. You have a metal fender here in the back, and you also have one in the front. These are both metal. And if I forgot to mention, the front fork suspension does have a lockout and adjustment. Nice front headlight here and reflector. The brakes on this bike are hydraulic brakes, and you have 180 millimeter rotors. On the other side here of the frame, you got a little flap here. That's for the key or the lock. Locks the battery in place. And down at the bottom of the frame here, you have a small charge port door. And of course, you can't take the battery out if you want to charge the battery outside of the bike. And you have a little button here. It's like a little wake-up button for the battery. If you don't use the bike for a while, the battery goes to sleep, I guess, to conserve the battery life and for safety. So if you try and turn on the bike and it won't turn on, the battery's in here locked in place, just press this button and it'll wake up the bike. And here's a look at the handlebar. You got some nice ergonomic grips here. Got a thumb throttle here. Here are your brake levers for the hydraulic disc brakes. This is your bike controller, power button, plus and minus for the pedal assist levels. Got this huge 3.5-inch display. Let's go ahead and turn the bike on. And you can see you got your standard reading there, your battery level, pedal assist levels here. That's up to 5, and your speedometer, trip odometer, etc. And the side here is the shifter for the 8 gears, branded micro shift here. So I'll have to talk about this on the riding test and tell you how this performs. So pretty good cable management here. You got your cables going into the frame. It's all nice and hidden, so it's very stealth. It doesn't look like an e-bike from kind of far away. In terms of the, I guess the frame construction here, I hardly see any welds at all anywhere. Typically you see welds down here, and you just don't see anything here. So I'm not sure if this is a single piece or if they did the welding in such a way that you can't see it. Anyway, it looks absolutely perfect. This is probably the highest quality in terms of build I've seen. The only place I see a weld here is way in the back in this part of the frame, but everywhere else, and here's another part right here, everywhere else where you expect like a weld here or down here, I don't see hardly anything. It's nice and smooth, nice powder coated paint finish as well. So in terms of the build, it's pretty straightforward, typical, and very similar to a lot of other e-bikes, with one exception, and I'll talk about that here in a second. Basically, it comes mostly assembled, like 85-90% assembled. The rear wheels are on, as well as the rear rack and fender, so that's pretty nice. All I have to do is put the handlebar on first, and it's fairly straightforward to put all of that together. You got to put the display on and then connect up all the wiring. If you read the manual, it's all explained very well. The manual is very good. Lots of good diagrams and very easy to understand. The tricky part about putting the wheel on here, so you have to put the headlight and front fender on here, this screw at this point in the back part there, and then putting this front wheel on. There's a quick release that goes through the center of the hub there, and the manual says you should flip the bike over, which is what I would recommend. I ended up just putting it on the side, and that was easier to get the that pin through the hub and the front wheel. It's a little bit unusual. I haven't seen this design in too many bikes. I've seen it like one other bike that I've reviewed before, but in this one is a little bit tricky getting it on, so I'd recommend following the instructions in the manual and flipping the bike over upside down to install a front wheel. But other than that, not too difficult to put this together. Actually, it took me longer to take all the foam and the zip ties and everything, all the packaging that came with the bike. It actually took a lot longer to take that all off versus actually putting the bike together. Anyway, go ahead and we'll do the speed test, the riding test, and I'll give you my final thoughts at the end of the video. All right, I'm going to try out just some pedaling here with this new micro shift, I guess shifter and derailleur system. It's not Shimano, I've never used this one before. Just to get an idea, how smooth it is. So I'm starting, I think, in gear 2. I'm going to switch the gears here. Yeah, feels just like a Shimano. Really doesn't seem like it's behaving any differently, and smooth. It's downshift now. Going down. Yeah, really quiet. They seem to work pretty well. All right, so let's go ahead. I usually do my pedaling tests for the pedal assist in a middle gear and move up. So get onto the street here. So all this time I've been in basically pedal assist level 0. Put it into 1, and basically just pedaling, I was able to get to 8 miles an hour. And pedal assist level 1, out to 11 and 12. Okay, goes to 2. And level 2, going a little faster. I'm gonna go up in gear again. About the same as level 1. To 15 on level 2, so it builds up speed pretty slow. Let's go to level 3. All right, I got a little burst there from the motor. Let's go all the way up to the highest gear. There we go. Level 3, 16, 17, 18. It's very gradual, to be expected from a 500 watt motor. Let's go to 4. I believe this thing tops out at 20, 19, 18. Okay, let's go to 5. I go 5, a little bit of burst there. 19, 18, and there's 20. That's pretty much where it tops out at. So let's turn around. Going to put this in level 1 and we'll do a throttle test. And I've already done this. It doesn't matter what pedal assist level you're in, it just gives you the max speed on throttle. So this being a class 2 e-bike, 20 miles an hour is the max that you're going to get. And I'm going into the wind here a little bit here, 19, 20 miles an hour. So yeah, not a speed demon, but for me, good enough for riding around on, basically for commuting and stuff. This is going to need plenty of speed. All right, so I'm going to do a quick brake test here from top speed. I'm going to pull on both. And yeah, it stops very quickly with the hydraulic disc brake, so it works exactly as expected. All right, so I'm gonna ride a little slow here and just give you some thoughts on how the bike rides. And very smooth on this particular model. Really no complaints. Obviously for riding on streets and sidewalks, this is going to be completely acceptable. And you know, it does a really good job. I don't hear any rattles or shakes or anything loose. Battery is nice and secure in this one here. Yeah, it only has front shocks, but you know, it's okay, yeah, for this type of riding. This is meant for roads and sidewalks and stuff, so I wouldn't really recommend this for off-roading. Something I did notice though is that even though I don't think it was mentioned in the product page, the seat post does move up and down a little bit. There might be a spring in there somewhere, but I'm not exactly sure how that works. I've never seen anything like that, but it does offer a little bit of cushion. The seat itself is not particularly cushy, and it's more definitely on the firm side. So if you prefer a firm bicycle seat, this one is right up your alley. I prefer something a little bit more cushy personally. So, but you know, bicycle seats are pretty easy to switch out anyway, and you know, probably for $30-40 you can get the exact seat that you want and swap it out on this bike, and you know, you can have a nice ride overall. And I'm noticing that the front disc brake is rubbing a little bit, but I think that is probably my fault, because when I put the front wheel on, I actually had the disc in there kind of on a side, kind of funny angle, and I possibly put it out of, I guess, out of tune, maybe a little bit of calibration, but that's pretty easy to do as a standard hydraulic disc brake. This needs a little bit of an adjustment, but it's not particularly loud. I didn't bother to, it's not noisy enough where I feel like I need to, you know, make any adjustments, but just something worth noting that I'd recommend following the instructions in the manual and flip the bike over so that when you put the wheel in, you're not jamming the disc in there and possibly damaging or putting the calipers out of alignment. This is basically what I think I did. So I do want to mention there's an app for this bike. You can connect your smartphone via Bluetooth, and it'll like record your data, map your ride, etc., that kind of stuff. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, it does not show up in the Android store, and so I was unable to install it. And I only use Android. I don't have an iPhone, so I was unable to test the app, but it looked pretty similar to a lot of other apps out there that connect to the bike. So it connects to the bike via Bluetooth. It basically gives you, you know, trip data, speed data, etc. Can log your bicycle rides, etc., that kind of stuff. And yeah, unfortunately, the app doesn't seem to be available on the Google Play Store anymore. Perhaps it's a minor temporary glitch, and they may just need to update the store with an updated version that should be able, probably will be available by the time you watch this video. Anyway, overall, very nice bike. Definitely can recommend this. It's a very well-built, solidly constructed bike, and I feel like it's a pretty good buy for the money. Got any questions, let me know. There'll be links down in the video description to the bike if you guys want to check it out. That'll do it for this video. Talk to you guys in the next one.